fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. So, it's been a tiring week. Allergies have been killing me. I've been trying really hard, but it's been so hard. Anyway, I'm back, baby. Let's go. And I want to share all of my, I won't call them FOMO, but I will call them over enthusiastic trades from yesterday and why you shouldn't trade on your phone. So I was all dealing with my mom yesterday, and I was sitting in the hospital, and I was just like looking at my phone while we were waiting and putting trades in, and not a good plan. Just let it go. Wait until you're back to your big screen and you can analyze. Anyway, so it's all a learning experience. That's why I'm not trading with real money yet. But it really hurt me, because I have my plan and I'm trying to follow it. But sometimes you fall off the wagon, and I felt like yesterday I fell off the wagon. Anyway, let's dig in, and then let's go play with what happened yesterday. And I didn't see a lot of the price action. So let's see if we could have traded the morning session and the afternoon session, and then let's see. Then I'll show you my trades. Sounds like a good time. Let's do it. Yeah, we're gonna get time. I'm listening to some music, so if you see me doing some weird like things, that's what's happening. All right. Wow, let's see. Where are we? Let's get in here. All right. So I had a few things in the afternoon that I was planning on at the end of the day, and looks like that work. Yeah, pretty well actually. All right, we're gonna use the back testing for all of yesterday's drama. That way we can go in blind June contract. It's early in the morning and I'm tired, so let's clean this up. All right, so what are we looking at? Now, the seasonal tendency says that at this point we should be like going up. So what are we aiming for? Looks like we're aiming for this guy. And actually, I'll do one more thing and add my actuals in here just for funsies so we can see the IPTA and see where we're going. New Week opening gap all the way up here. We're not quite halfway there yet. But let's take a look at our IPTA data ranges. So I adjusted to this since we're about to come up here. So 60 days from this point. Um, so what do we have? All right. So we had bullish shift in the last 60 days and bearish shift in the last 40 days and 20 days continuation of the bearish shift. You drop down and take out the last 40 days low, but we still haven't taken out the low from the previous level and definitely not the low from 60 days, which is still this guy. In terms of highs, for the last 60 days, so this is where I'd be aiming for. This guy right here, this guy right here. We're gonna go up. All right, let's go play with yesterday's yesterday's data. So I'm gonna drop down to a 4 hour time frame, and we're just gonna hit the replay button and head back to what is this? Not Friday, Monday, 2, 12, 10. All right, let's close that in. And I'm just curious. Let's I'm curious about what we had to play with yesterday. So uh the low the low of Monday. Hold on. It's Friday. The low Friday. So the high of Monday is here. So just note that the high buy side right there. And then the low of Monday Sunday 6, Monday 10. So this is the low of Monday right here. Just to note those sell sides right there on the 4 hour. Other things to be aware of. We're digging into this big wick here. We're well past consequent encroachment of that. Approximately, we're about there. So I'm gonna denote that as well. Let's get to about halfway. Rejection wick right here, which might be turning into a um, support of some sort. So let's do this. So consequent encroachment there. It's a place to aim for as well. Top of the wick. Then of course consequent encroachment and consequent encroachment of that, which I think was where they stopped. Wow. Impressive. Let's double check. About a tick above it, or a couple ticks above it. Yeah. All right. So then we have this big wick to contend with before we go anywhere. This is where they took this guy out. So right now we're playing around inside of this fair value gap right here. Yep. And this guy dug into this fair value gap all the way up here. So I'm not going to bother with noting that for the moment, but I know that we've got some yummy things coming up. Old high right here at 40.57 inside the wick. So I'm going to just note that for today's action. Actually, I'll need to put it over in the other one. But I'll do that later. But since we're using yesterday's data, we don't get all the way up there anyway. All right, so it is Monday at 6 o'clock on the 4 hour. Let's drop to a 1 hour. And let's see. So this is the low for Monday. And that's the high for Monday. So buy side. So we've hung out a lot in that consequent encroachment right there. We've dropped below it. And it's 9 o'clock now. Let's move it forward. I want to start with midnight and go from there. 10, 11, 12. Okay. So opening price, spot here, and that opening price right there. And let's drop down to a 15-minute. And what are we doing? Okay, things to note. So I have this wick right here. Let's pay attention to that. Gonna note consequent encroachment of that wick. This is what I didn't get a chance to do. Consequent encroachment of that wick. And nope. Fair value gap down here. Let's just note that. Price could be respecting it, and looks like it has been nicely. Gap. High, higher high, traded through. It's a little bit of a breaker, but this thing right here is a breaker, I believe. Let's note it and see how we trade inside of it. Yes, it's getting busy. Right. So it's midnight. We are going sideways. Fun. Okay. So let's drop to a 5-minute. Yes, very hard sideways. All right, let's see. What has happened so far? We've been dropping into Monday. We hit 1150, rallied into consequent encroachment, and then dropped back down into the breaker and fair value gap. And we've just been bouncing around inside of it now. So midnight's open and we're just hanging out. No bias. So let's continue on. So what I'm thinking to myself, we need to break out of this to give me something. More importantly, we had a shift here. So a potential So swing failure came back up, drop. I mean, we had the shift, came back up into here, and then we dropped again beautifully. Um, 40, 10, 75, 40, 40, 11, 40, 09 is like a uh, daily fair value gap that's in here. And ooh, let's also add, or let's add that, and let's add that as well, so we can use them as we should be consistently. All right, jamming out. So everybody is consolidating. Yep, good. So when we get a shift, we'll work with that. Okay. So 5 minutes, we're just gonna let it roll. We need to break below here or above here to come back up. Let's see. On like the 3 minute, do we have something juicy up here to play with on this shift? It's broke below there. So we have all of this. All right, so let's note that. Right at consequent encroachment up here as a target, or I would call it like the last ditch area. I wouldn't want it to get any higher than this for fair value gap to continue back down if they're going to respect this. So what do we have? We have a high, higher high. Yeah, I mean, break a block down here too on the lower time frame. Now if we're continuing up, we have all of this shift. Let's shift all the way up there. So order blocks all the way down here. So bullish order block or breaker right here. So high, lower high, eventual shift up. High, higher high, eventual shift up. I guess this guy. Sorry, that guy right there. But we're going sideways, so not gonna worry about that. So we're just hanging out inside of. Ooh, let's see where 0 GMT is as well. 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock's here. That's 0 GMT. And let's see if we can do some see what the CBDR looks like actually. So there's 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock is right here. And 8 o'clock's all the way over there. So we have quite a range to work with. So that's the range. CBDR. Let's adjust that. So I have no real bias at this point. That's the range for the CBDR. Let's see what that is. Let's get to how many ticks that is. Approximately 98 ticks. That's too much. I can't use that. Let's see the Asian range, which is much smaller. So this is 0 GMT. There we are. That's much better to midnight. So I'm not gonna bother with this one for now. I'll just use the Asian range. All right, so whatever is happening, let's clone that. Let's give it a different color. Okay, so I think like it's seasonal tendency. I think everything should be bullish in general. So let me do this. All I'm trying to do is like predict how far up we can go using this. So that's all this is. Scrolling this. Okay, so that's one standard deviation. There's ST1, and it's going to be SD2. Let's try and go up to 3 standard deviations. Adjust this color a little bit. And let's clone that. Okay. So 3 standard deviations takes us above Monday's high. Let's adjust that color. All right. So then areas of interest would be there and there and at 0 GMT. Fun. Oh, and there. Places to reach for. So if it's going that way, if it's going in the opposite direction, then we have to bring it in the opposite direction. But so far it's looking bullish, right? We've from last Monday, from Monday night, we've gone up, up. We haven't taken out Monday's high or low. So once we figure out which, we'll see. So I'm bullish, at least for the moment, while we're hanging out in here. All right, so now we have our let's reduce the excuse me. Allergies, man, they've been killing me. Let's reduce the thing in here. And so it's not so eye-catching. Because I'm pretty sure the range inside of here is not as it's not as thick. All right, so that's the Asian range, and we're just gonna so technically this is 1, 2, 3, 4 as targets. So we'll leave that on there just for whatever purposes. So now it's all right. So what's happening here? Let's zoom in. We've been hanging out in this range between here and here. Be interesting to see them dig into this wick. Is that CE of that wick? What's going on here? Analysis. Oh, the bigger wick. Well, there's a smaller wick in here too that they could dig into. It's a little below that first one, so potentials. All right, so there's the potential for them to come back up in here to drop back down. Um, right now they're inside of this new week opening gap, which is at 4011. Let's drop down to the 15-minute. Auto that. 4011.50, 4010.50, right? So let's just note that. So we're coming back down to new week opening gap and 4010.50. We'll see how it behaves. So right now we're at consolidation 118, 3 minutes. So I'm gonna wait, go back up to 50-minute and let's wait for something to happen. Have we, let's see, we haven't made any shifts. We're not, there's a volume imbalance down here for them to pop back into. So they're inside of that right now. Let's drop down to 1 minute. So the question is, can we, there's not a lot of volume, it doesn't look like. So let me use my preferred time frame and see what's happening here. So we are in this little fair value gap on the 1 minute. And technically we've gotten a shift right here. And we've come back down into it. So Could we get like five handles? Let's see. I want like an eight. Let's see, can we get 20? That would require it to push through back up to the GMT and dig out to the Asian range. Do we have any news yesterday that was of interest? So GBP had at 4:45 a.m. something happened, 8:30 and 1 a.m. core, whatever. So let's see. So we've been slowly driving down, re rejection. So after coming down, just consolidating inside of this range. So let's take a look at what the range, where are we in the range, you know? Let's assume we got to touch a little bit in the side inside of this range a little bit. Okay, so we're at a discount, it looks like. Let's reduce the background a lot. Okay, so we're at a discount. So but we're not gonna get 20 ticks inside of this range. So let's wait until 2 o'clock and see what we can glean. Look how it's respecting this thing. Could at least ride it back up. Because what have we done? We've taken out those guys, taken out those guys, those guys. You know, I feel like there's a higher level potential up here. But then we dropped really precipitously right here. Quite a drop. And took out sell side here and here, all the folks who went long. And we wicked. So until I take this wick out, I can't really, or at least, get past consequent encroachment of that wick. Can't really do anything. But given the drop, we're consolidating, right? Short biased for the moment. So this range that we're kicking it in, I want either 4016 to be broken or 44,008 to be broken properly. So let me remove that. Sometimes you can get stuck in the range and that's not good. So let's wait. So we're just gonna wait. Okay. So I knew it was gonna go up. I just didn't think it was gonna go up enough to make it worth my while. Okay. Now we're talking. All right. Time's it. It's 2 o'clock. 2:05. We've just dug out of the range. Yay. So what are we digging into? So there's So we just took out a bunch of sell side right in here. So I'm just going to note that. Sorry, buy side. We just took out a bunch of buy side right there. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay. All right, so we're digging up into, I'm going to dig up into this fair value gap in here. I'm just going to note. Yeah, it's going to get busy, but when it's coming from so far. All right, so it's digging up into this fair value gap. So my long idea would have been good, and I would have gotten the 20 ticks. Sometimes you just have to, right? Well, let's continue. So we're digging up into it. So we're digging into ST1, fair value gap up here, and first level of interest for the Mun-Muns is up there. Okay. Let's just wait. Flat top. Okay, 218. So I should have respected this guy right here and taken it, but you don't know when you're gonna get kicked out of a range. So now we popped out of the range. It's after midnight. It's above GMT. Could this be the Judah swing? I don't know. Let's see. It gives me something to play with. Okay. If we're continuing on up, we have this lovely range to play with. Liquidity void down here. They need to take this out or give me a shift. Feels like they're going to continue on up. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Void right here. Came in here. Could we have gotten 20 ticks maybe? Still long, right? Not doing anything because I'm still so 20 ticks gets us back into the range. Let's see. Volume and balance right there. But it's too clean on the top of this, right? So are we reaching for that guy? Let's see. Well, looks like we are. All right, so we took this out. Just gonna wait. Yeah, just gotta take it out properly. All right, so we know we're digging it. We've dug into that and we've hung out quite a bit inside of it. So let's focus on that guy. This is an idea based on whether or not they took this out. They didn't, so that out. So we're still digging upwards. What time is it? 2:36. So this opportunity down here where it was respecting the base of this, nice long potential. That happened at 1:30. And then the breakout happened right there, and it didn't give us an opportunity. So, okay, all right. So we're digging into this guy. So I have all of this to play with in play right now. Nice. So we're heading towards the first like target for the standard deviations, right? Let's see. So this is another thing that's really important I'm learning, right? You have to be focused entirely on what you're doing trading. Like I'm trying a lot of times to like work and like look at the charts and that's how I get busted most of the time, you know? All right, so what are we doing here? What's holding us up? So we have a small fair value gap right here. Is that enough to like, well, it's at an order block too, potentially. This one's more of interest to me, I think. If I were to like try and grab a quick long from here, say midpoint, could I get 20 ticks? That's my question always. And I want like an 8 tick stop loss. Could I get 20 ticks? That would be digging into the consequent encroachment at 423. What time is it? 2:48. Now we've sort of slowed down a bit. We're still going up. So I don't know. And gapping. Okay. So we would have gotten an entry there. right? Respecting that. Still not doing anything. I'm just testing, but that doesn't look. Now we have a bit of a shift right now, right? We've got this short-term low taken out by this wick. Let's see what happens. Okay. I have a little bit of a, oh, let's move this out of the way. What is this? Got a little bit of a fair value gap right here. We've got this volume imbalance. This looks pretty sideways to me, so I'm just gonna dip back up to the 5 minutes and we're wicking, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But this is making me feel like we're starting to reject that. So let's see what the other instances are doing. So consolidation pulled up. Okay. Gotta try and remember that they're there for me to play with. Okay. So, okay. I think everybody is in alignment at the moment. Let's see. Equal lows there. Going up that way. Going up that way. So it's a little neutral. So I'm gonna mind my business for the moment. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Continue to let this play out. Let's see. Just consolidating around that guy. Oops. Whoa. So let's see. I said I wanted midpoint of that 8 ticks as a stop thing and 20 tick close. Nice big push. Would have gotten it. We gotta trust it. That's the problem. You just have to trust it. Do I trust it? I don't know. But we've hit the first like take profit from the Asian range. Just haven't taken out the high for the day. That all the way up there. And what time is it? So yeah, we didn't have anything to work with from the midnight. It was just, I guess it did drop down and go back up. Still working on this. I don't understand the Judas swing that well. I really take this one off. So that would have worked. Didn't take it though. I guess we should, if we're already rolling up, we should probably, and we're so close to all of these areas of interest, we should probably trust it, right? Okay, we can get rid of the range out of it. Okay. Okay. Big fair value gap down here. Just see how it behaves in this guy. Next level of interest would be 4028 from a standard deviation perspective, and it's all the way up here at this buy side. 4027. We know the fair value gaps. Let's see if they want us like hit midpoint. So far for the London session, we've been going up and not been able to take a trade except for like right here. Where as we look at it, I hate this. I'm still just hindsighting every dang thing. We've come back down to this fair value gap and then run away. Still not seeing everything. Still not seeing everything. All right, so let's continue on. Just watching price right now. 3 o'clock. All right, so we've had a nice drop here below these lows. Rather they take out those guys to give me something proper to work with. I'm not touching it. So I've come back down to this order block. If this is holding it up, maybe they want to like still to clean up here. Maybe they want to come back up. Could we have gotten 20 ticks? Let's see. From this, with that 8 tick stop loss. Put us order block right there, put us below these two order blocks right here, but not these two. Um, it is below the fair value gap, so I don't know. Let's see. Like at this point, I probably wouldn't bother, but we have to see how they behave inside of here. Yeah, that's why you wait. You don't know, right? Because this seems like it's acting as resistance on the top. Would have been stopped out there. So not every situation is going to work. So now we're back down to this order block. We have a shift here now. So we have a high, higher high, shift down. Let's run a quick test. Is this a breaker block? High, higher high, shift below. It's not quite a shift right now. Now it is though. And now we have a fair value gap inside of the breaker block. So technically, let's see. Could we get a short from like say right there? Technically the base of the breaker is right there. So let's could I get an 8 tick stop loss above the breaker from there? Yeah. And then let's see. We got all this to dig back into. Let's see. Could we do it? We're to dig back into this area here, down to this fair value back, maybe take out these lows. There's sell side down here and down here. All right. It's kind of, let's look at the 5 minute. Looks like it's somewhat choppy. We got a volume imbalance right there, but they've taken all of this and the first target. So we'll have to see what they do. But if we come back up here, I'm thinking that's a potential. This volume imbalance makes me a little nervous. So let's see what happens. Okay. Well, looks like they're respecting this guy. Okay. Let's see. Now we have a shift here. Even better shift. So this breaker, maybe the base of the breaker is all we get. So if I did, it's a long wick, right? So if we get up here, maybe gonna have to have a wider stop loss above the breaker is what I prefer. So if I were to say here and we stopped here, and we're saying sell as below here. So this guy right here, smack dagger on consequent encroachment. I don't know. Let's see. Let's not be rash though, and not even give us the opportunity. It's like it's about to. All right, so shift or to block right here. Yeah, let's see. Let's be patient. So 0 GMT again. Fair value gap right here. It's thinking. Just gotta wait. It's getting rejected, but it's scrolling up, so I still feel like it's gonna continue up. Okay, I'm wrong. Still respecting this thing. So I have to visualize it. So yeah, it gets busy in here. So we're slowly rolling downward. These guys reducing our mm, so my model says wait for a shift, return back into order block, break a block. And it did right here. I just have to be more nimble about grabbing it. right? So let's continue to see, but it broke through, but now it's respecting the opening midnight price. So let's wait to see if we get back up. Okay, what time is it? 3:35. Let's see. Get something. Gonna come back into the breaker. There's a nice fair value gap and volume imbalance right here. So let's assume they're coming back to the volume imbalance. Okay. All right. So let's sell right here. All right. Let's see how this works for us. Okay. Just digging into it. All right. This is a much bigger one than I need. So my stop loss needs to be much wider. Let's see. If that's the case, then it should be right. Oh, sorry. It should be safe. My stop should be safe above. Whoops, I keep changing, grabbing the wrong thing. My stop loss should be safe above the breaker. Let's see. And I should have felt comfortable with the higher entry, but let's see. Sometimes I'm wrong and I miss things. Let's test. Okay. Okay, breaker's acting as resistance. I like that. And we need to get below these equal lows. Okay. All right. So so we found something around 3:30-ish. Okay, if we get out of here, looking good. So this guy right here, we need to get below it. 250, I would like to move my stop loss into some, small semblance of a thing. Could have taken the 250, but, we feel like it's taken it down. Let's continue. 300. We have this fair value gap, constant encroachment to enjoy. All right. So we're more about 50% in. So let's just note that we would move our stop loss into break even, basically, approximately a couple of ticks break even. So taking this guy, I want this to turn into support. Okay, it's okay. This fair value gap, like this one's a breakaway, and this is the one I want them to stay inside of. If they can't stay inside of that, I will close it. Okay, good. All right. It'd be like nerve-wracking to watch this stuff. So, so I said this guy, right? So let's take a look at or let's use this intermediary high with this low right here. So below here, that was pretty close. Still looking at that guy. So let's see. Just gotta trust it unless you see something that's makes you feel like it's gonna turn around like this wick right here. Don't like it. But I'm gonna wait. Now, the other thing is that it's just hit this fair value gap, right? So this gap can potentially act as some kind of resistance. So now that it's tapped it, um, they're also inside of a new week opening gap at the very base. We're close to where my take profit is, so I'll be moving my stop loss down so I can get um oops, so I can get at minimum 250, so all the way up there, and we'll just try and see what happens. So now the wicks on these don't make me feel happy, right? What time is it? 4 o'clock. So either I'm gonna get stopped out up here or I'm gonna get my take profit down below. Dang. So this guy needs to hold as support. I don't like it. So I'm gonna flatten and take my money. Okay. And take the most. It probably does get down there. It looks like we're consolidating. And once it starts consolidating, I don't like it. So we come out and enjoy enjoy my winnings. See. Just curious to see if I would have been stopped out at that level. Okay. Looks like here. Consolidating and all right. Haven't made it to the take profit yet. I'll take my winnings and be happy with it. And then look for another setup. So that was a good setup. All right. That one's done. Let's get up out of here. Let's clean that up. So we know we're in here. Take our 337 and be happy because we're coming up on the base of the Asian range. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize. Haha, gotta pay attention. That's probably why they turned around. All right, so now it is 427, still inside that kill zone. So let's, it stopped, it's consolidating. Probably would have gotten or take profit. Let's move this along so see if we would have gotten down there. Yeah. Slow, annoying. But as I'm learning, I'm aiming for 250, so getting over that is already pretty awesome. All right, so now we're digging into the breaker that's down here. It's 4:40 in the AMs. Let's dip back up to the higher time frame. So something I need to do is, so we're breaking out of the Asian range. So let's also denote, let me clone this. Let's denote a standard deviation below it. So basically I'm just using these to figure out how far we could go. So like, let's zoom in here. So, yeah. So 4,125 potentially. Let's see how they behave around the consequent encroachment of this wick. So we've taken one trade, made a little money, good. So let's go back to the 1 minute. So we're just gonna wait and see. So my short game is better than my long game. So we've been coming back down. We've been dropping precipitously since we rolled up, which at this point is Tuesday's high. And we still haven't taken out Monday's low, I don't believe. No. So let's see. Do we get an opportunity inside this breaker? Continue on down. Eat the rest of this guy. Roll up into the rest of this breaker. I don't know. Let's see. Let's have a little bit of a shift here. Fair value gap down here. Volume imbalance right there. High, low, lower, low. We haven't shifted above anything up there, so no breakers. So not going to do anything with it. Because the question really is, at very minimum, can I get 250 out of it, right? So let's say I was being silly. The rate base of this guy. 8 ticks stop loss, 20 ticks up here. Oh yeah, I could get it back up to the volume and balance and this fair value gap up here. Let's see. But just coming off of a trade, you don't want to just jump right back into another one. So just gonna watch price and see what it does. Because we've just come off of a drop, so it might want to just consolidate for a bit. It looks like it's respecting the top of this fair value gap and the inside of this, so one of them has to win. So if we're considering like short opportunities, it could be coming all the way down to this um, sell side. Right now, we've been pretty short, so I don't know why I keep wanting to go long. We're just consolidating. I mean, when we finally got a break and traded back up into it, now that was a good. So I don't have that, so yeah. So don't train myself not to rush when I'm sitting here able to like focus on it and nothing else. It's really, really helpful. Let's go up to the 5 minute and watch the higher time frame. So yeah, it's way too choppy in here. Like once this break happened, beautiful. We came back into this order block, which is a breaker block on the other side, and then we dropped precipitously. So, I mean, honestly, if we think about it, we've just like dug a bit into this wick right here, right? We don't have any real bias. We're just going with what price presents to us, right? So right now, nothing. Just hanging out inside of this fair value gap. I'm gonna delete that. We need some kind of proper shift. Okay, what time is it? 5:16. All right, so what do we have so far? We have relative equal lows down here, and uh, rejection about 50%, about consequent encroachment of that wick right there. Not bad. After a shift, let's see. Still hanging out inside of this fair value gap. Oh man, my eyes. Okay, so things that I should be paying attention to. So we're hanging out here. I need to take out one of those, I think. See how it behaves. Let's make it a different color, even if we know it is a fair value gap. So we took these guys out shallowly with that. We're inside of this thing. I don't have any. Well, this looks like it's gonna come back down now, the way it's behaving. Man, I think it's bright. See? Yeah, it's the way it formed down there. So coming for these guys, right? Another opportunity. Can you get 420 ticks from a short right here? Not that I feel like we're really gonna get that, but we're testing out all the opportunities here. Stop loss would be all the way over here, $100 to risk. And so for the Asian range, we're outside of it now. One standard deviation's all the way down here. We'll be coming to the base of the sky. Potential. Depends on how it behaves inside of this thing. Hmm. You know what? So I've been working on another like potential, but this is I shouldn't do it because I'm seeing how they're behaving inside of the Fair Valley Gap, but it's just consolidating. And sometimes like this is the more difficult scenario where I see this doing this. We've taken out this equal lows down here. We have these guys take out. I have no directional bias at the moment. We've been coming down, so maybe a short and maybe a tiny, tiny short bias, maybe. Um, and it's respecting this guy, and we're at the base of it. So if we were to take a short from here to below that, like what would be your, let's see, if I use this low right here, so that 425 would be. So let's see how well that works. I'm not going to press the button. I'm just going to watch it. 'Cause I feel like it's going to come down. Oh man, it did. Like a second. Still looking good. Coming down. Sometimes we're going to take them out. Come on, you know you want to. So, 20 ticks is all the way down here. The base of that thing could be it. So with a short bias, so we're getting up to this guy. Let's see. Yeah, all right. We stop in here. We're gonna finish it up. Next area is forward 250. Let's see. There it is. See, that's the other model that I'm working on, but it's a lot more volatile and it really requires you to like stare at the charts. So I would have gotten my 20 ticks right there beautifully and been happy. Now the next potential is, right here for a standard deviation of a play, right? So that's what these denote, the standard deviations. So it's like an area you could take profit or take partials off or whatever. So now what do we have? We have a nice shift, right? A nice shift. And now it can come back up and maybe give us an entry down. So we have a shift. Uh, do we have a breaker? Let's see, we have a low, lower low. So we need a high, higher high. So it's not a breaker, it's an order block down here. We've got this volume imbalance right here. They've traded into this one already. This one's open. So those five handles based off of this and the behavior and the fact that it's lower than this. And then it was respecting this, that was going to go down. What time is it now? 5:47. So it's about lunchtime in London. So I don't know what's going to happen. We're at the base of the breaker, taking up most of it. Nice. Let's look at like the 3 minutes, see if there's a cleaner look after this break. So the order block, so all of this is an order block. We've got this big area right here. Um, this is where I'd want them to come back in if we're gonna go down to like hit that. So let's see if we were to come back in, let's say right there to hit this guy. So general expectation would be just below there. And let's go back to the 1 minute. What's the lowest? Yeah, so that's fine. So then, I still want to work with like a 8 tick stop loss or something like that if they're going to continue down. So we have another shift. We don't have a breaker. I like the ones with the breakers. Well, this is a high, high, high that traded through, but I like when it's closer. So this guy It's a high, higher high. So this is a breaker technically. So let's see. Does it fall within where I want to like have an entry? Yeah, it does. All right, let's see if we get it. Coming back up. No, this guy. Let's see what it does here. Because if it doesn't, if it respects it and doesn't come all the way up. So here's a silly thing that I'm trying to work my way out of. This is the very base of the breaker. Still above it, so let's just see what happens there. Okay, so I would have got my entry right there. Let's see if I get another green candle in the general vicinity so I can, so it's coming up to where I actually want. So let's sell here. Stop loss up there. And that's 8 ticks, 20 ticks all the way down here. Let's see, do we get it? Let's move this out the way. Okay. So if we can't take this out, then I'm gonna have to collapse that. I don't like this behavior right here. It needs to come right down. If this void cannot hold it up, this volume imbalance right here can't hold it out, then I'm gonna have to collapse it. Let's see. Okay. Looks like it's keeping it. Oof. The body's holding it up though. I don't like it. Still holding it down. 20 ticks. Let's see. Because we are inside of this breaker already. And we made this low, this higher low. So we're a couple ticks, not many. Yeah. Now, once the shift happened, you could have waited for, we don't really have anything in here. We got that. It's hanging out on the top. We've got a lower thing here, so I'm gonna flatten right here because I don't trust it. Oh, man. Of course, as soon as I do that, it does what we want it to do. Should have waited for what this does. And the plan is good. So this is the bad habits that I need to work through. Like you need to hold it to fruition. Wick. I use this high, this low. Actually, no, that's not the right ones. Do we get a second opportunity to get in here, maybe? To come down to this guy? Oh, wow. So it's a good entry. I just see. The buy thing is still in there. One. It's a big fair value gap right here. Let's see how it behaves inside of it. Okay. So it gave us another opportunity at the volume imbalance for another short. This one holding it up. Okay. So we worked our way back into this guy. So my shift, I got my entry, and I would have gotten my entry was in here. I don't think I got my 20 ticks yet. No, didn't. So, but I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. Um, watch the way these candles form. What time is it? 6 o'clock? So I'm just gonna wait. So we're in this fair value gap. So volume imbalance is now holding it up. Yeah. So I might want to dig back into this fair value gap. 404, 408. See if we get a shift in the opposite direction. Took out these guys. Now we're in this weird consolidation. So we have a shift here, fair value gap, back into this volume imbalance. But we're higher than this. So I don't know. We're just inside of the break, the higher time frame breaker. From this entry would still be safe, even dealing with all this drama. And took these guys out, still inside this wick. 634. Slow, very slow dig in. I should get used to letting my stop loss do its job. As ICT says, submit to it, you know? All right, so we have another shift right here. Uh, fair value gap, they've already come into it. What's below here? Oh, that standard deviation. They're getting close to that take profit area. Yeah, and there they do. There it is. Boom. So I could have held from here to here and would have gotten that. Would have got my 20 ticks. With my 8 tick stop loss. Not quite, but there it is, right there. 20 ticks. But look at how much soup we had to go through to make that happen. That's so high resistance, man. It's so not cute. Anyway, it's about an hour of this. I need to go look at actual price action, see what's going on. But so far, two decent setups once I waited for the proper shift, you know, proper shift, wait for it to come back into the breaker. Down. Good. All right, guys. Um, my short model works a lot better, obviously. Looks like the sun is coming out now. It's time to start my day. I got more stuff to do with mom to this morning. So drop a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, and be safe out here. These markets are choppy. They are hard to trade, so be careful. Shakira out.